So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
The swearing in of the country's first black president left an indelible mark on those who witnessed history.
Now, when we say you can grow up to be president, all of these young kids, it will be a reality.
Around the country, children who saw themselves in a first family unlike any other.
Yes, we can! Yes, we can!
It's like another Martin Luther King, and I didn't get to witness that, and now I get to witness this.
It makes me feel like I can do whatever I want to and become whatever I want to. That's why I'm so happy today.
AALIYAH Morgan and Patrick Owens were 7th graders in Chicago as Barack Obama became the nation's 44th president. They're now students in college.
He is a great president in office, and he doesn't really pay attention to those naysayers.
He's done more in office than I actually thought he would do.
After 2 terms, Obama remains enormously popular among minorities who voted for him in record numbers in 2008. THEODORA EGBUCHULAN was one of them.
He's ushered in a new era where the umbrella that's America, the blanket of America, is bigger now.
But the Obama era also brought a racial backlash, and the country became more divided.
It's not an accident that our first African-American presidency stirred up racial resentment among significant portions of the American public.
Obama also faced stiff Republican opposition to much of his agenda.
The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
The president did usher in criminal justice reforms that helped minorities, and millions of blacks and Hispanics benefited from his Affordable Care Act. He made racially diverse appointments, including the first 2 black attorneys general and the first Latina to the U.S. Supreme Court. But Obama leaves behind a racial landscape more complex than ever.
I don't believe he has a legacy when it comes to race, because that's one issue that he hadn't been able to really step right into and call it how it needed to be called.
Obama's 8 years in office coincided with a rise in protests over police shootings of African Americans and the emergence of the Black Lives Matter movement. Issues Howard University professor Lorenzo Morris says needed to be addressed.
By bringing elements of racism to the surface that we may have known about but have not paid attention to, it is actually progress. Even if we don't resolve them, we know that they're there.
Obama also had a complicated relationship with Latinos. More than 2.5 million people were deported under his watch, more than any other president. HAZEL Gomez's father was one of them. He had been in the U.S. since he was a year old. As a teenager, he got into trouble with the law. After serving time, he got his life in order and started his own family.
He worked, he had a job, he had a house. He moved to Texas, like he was doing really well for himself. My grandparents were there along the way to be there with him and support him. Yet he still got deported.
But while Obama was unable to push comprehensive immigration reform, he did take action to protect hundreds of thousands of immigrants from being separated from family. And he launched the program My Brother's Keeper in 2014 to expand opportunities for young boys and men of color.
I see myself in these young people.
For all the triumphs and struggles of Obama's presidency, there is still a sense of pride that hasn't been lost these last 8 years.
I'm actually happy that a black man has actually stepped up to become something very big like the president.
My emotions are still high to this day thinking about it. So yes, I still feel the same.
A reshaping of American history that's produced a legacy of its own. Noreen Nasser, Associated Press.